Suge Knight.
Right.
This motherfucker is so bad. I got to live the rest of my life realizing that maybe.
Which of those four is it when you talk to him about Tupac?
It was really about both of them.
As you're driving up towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat.
Investigators have just revealed 3 names tied to Tupac's passing, and instantly Tupac's family is coming after them. According to reports, the family of Tupac Shakur has filed a new wrongful death lawsuit against the man currently charged in the case. They also made it clear that while many individuals connected to the situation have passed away over time, others have been difficult to identify. The complaint states, one thing is certain. There are still individuals involved in Tupac's passing who for nearly 30 years have not been held accountable. Right now, Duane Keefe D Davis is the only person facing a first-degree charge related to Tupac, but according to the family, more names could be coming. And what makes this even crazier? Keefe D literally gave an interview admitting details about the crime shortly before being arrested.
And Bubble Up was the driver, and Baby Lane and Freaky were in the backseat.
We was just all in the car together. Just say that.
This was the white Cadillac.
Yeah.
So you guys are driving around, and then you hear these girls say, Tupac, Tupac.
Got to the light. He was gonna go drink, and he happened to be hanging out the window. He was hanging out the window like he was in a parade.
Tupac.
Yeah, he was.
So what happens next? You said that as you're driving up towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat.
But here's where things take a turn. Investigators claim Keefe D was allegedly hired for the hit. In their notes, it reads that a former LAPD officer claims Sean Diddy Combs had Tupac taken out for $1 million. They also suggested that Suge Knight later retaliated by having the notorious B.I.G. killed. All tied into this chain of events, but what many people didn't realize is that on the very night Tupac passed, Keefe D had already spoken with police.
All 4 of those occasions, there's San Diego, Anaheim, Irvine, and Vegas. Which ones do you actually talk to Puffy at?
Every one.
Every one of them. Which of those 4 is it when you talk to him about Tupac?
It was really about both of them. Either one. It was
Tupac and Suge, you mean?
Yeah.
And this is only the beginning. With newly released Tupac files surfacing, fans are now questioning everything reactions online say. These files are changing the whole story. Why is there evidence suggesting Snoop Dogg knew Tupac might be targeted? Why would Suge want him gone? And did Diddy really pay for it? The files highlight 3 major names: Suge Knight, Diddy, and Keefe D. Let's break them down, starting with Suge Knight. Even Tupac's own father spoke out, saying if he had been more present, Tupac might still be alive, and he never would have trusted Suge. He explained Tupac saw Suge as a father figure, adding as Suge took all his money.
Right. This motherfucker is so bad. I got to live the rest of my life realizing that maybe if I was a better father, he might not have gotten that situation. He might have had enough wisdom to know that this motherfucker is nothing but a scoundrel. But he looked up to him like a father. Didn't find out a year, 8 months later, that he's cheating him out of all of his money. That's the final betrayal.
Suge Knight's name keeps coming up throughout these files. Police noted that his version of events has changed multiple times over the years. That raises a big question. Why didn't Tupac have security the night he was shot? Especially when his record deal reportedly guaranteed 24/7 protection. And remember, Suge Knight himself comes from a security background.
First of all, you see what happened. Suge understands who he's dealing with, or what that just happened with, right?
Yeah.
I would have off the top shut my artist down. And if I would have shut him down, I would have moved him in a way to where could nobody get to him. Sure, you know what you doing, though, dude. Like, it ain't no security on it.
But on the night Tupac was taken to the hospital, Suge claims something that doesn't quite add up.
I mean, when I left that hospital, me and Pac was laughing and joking. So I don't see how somebody can turn from doing well to doing bad.
So you seriously think that he might still be alive?
I would say this Pac, you never...
Here's the issue. Police records say Tupac was in a deep unconscious state when he arrived at the hospital, so how could he have been laughing and talking with Suge like claimed? In Suge's file, investigators focused heavily on his responsibility for security that night. They also pointed out something else. Suge allegedly knew Tupac wasn't truly about the street life he portrayed. According to police notes referencing writer Jeff Pearlman, Tupac may have been playing a role more than living that reality.
Yeah, because all these guys sold him this lifestyle idea, but he wasn't it. He couldn't fight. He had no athleticism. He didn't know how to shoot. He wasn't that guy, but he started to believe it.
He method acted it.
But at the last minute, plans changed and Snoop didn't go. Now Snoop was heavily connected in the streets during the 90s, which led some to believe he might have received a warning about what was coming. And there's more. Just days before the incident, Snoop, Tupac, and Suge reportedly had a heated situation between them.
Tupac, though, in regards to Tupac, I heard a story, did you give him different advice that night on where to go?
I didn't give him no advice.
Right.
We wasn't seeing eye to eye.
Right.
So.
Saying during the Tyson.
Yeah, this incident that I'm explaining to you right now was the day before that.
Okay.
So when they got to Vegas, they went their way, I went back. I mean, when we got to LA.
But nothing hits harder than what's inside Diddy's file. According to federal claims, Diddy may have planned the entire situation and then used media influence to muddy the truth afterward. And for years it worked. The case stayed unsolved. For decades, even 50 Cent stepped in saying the story isn't finished, and more unreleased footage is on the way, including details about Diddy's connection to Tupac's ex. Diddy later had a daughter, Chance Combs, with Sarah Chapman, who reportedly dated Tupac back in 1995. Some believe that connection fueled deeper tension.
Last time me and Tupac was on the same page, and I did an interview with Angie Martinez, and she asked me how did I feel about Puffy and Biggie, and I told her that I like their music and I want to do music with them. Bro didn't like that, Tupac didn't like that, so we had a misunderstanding. So on the flight back to LA, I didn't feel comfortable around them for what they had did, as far as I didn't let my security ride with me. So to protect myself and to prevent from happening, I slept under a blanket with the knife and the fork just in case something was to go wrong, but it didn't.
The feds even found another interview where Snoop claimed 2 days before Tupac passed, he felt like Tupac hated him.
I say a week before he died, we was best of friends. 2 days before he died, I don't think he liked me.
Why?
Because we was in New York, and it happened. New York, they shot at me and did all kind of shit to me, like just the worst you could think of, and I forgave him. And went and did an interview and was asked, how do I feel about Puffy and Biggie? And I was like, I like it. I want to do some music with him. And that just rubbed Cuz the wrong way, like tried to kill me, out at you, and you talking about you want to do a song with him. I wasn't thinking about his emotions. I was thinking about the way I felt at the time. I wasn't into no controversy. I liked his music. They was our friends. We was all friends at one point. There's video footage of all of us hanging out.
There's even photo evidence from November 18, 1995 showing Tupac with Sarah Chapman, suggesting he was with her first. At the same time, Diddy reportedly saw her as his dream girl. So when she got involved with Tupac, it didn't sit right with him. Investigators believe this may have led to an earlier attempt on Tupac that was never fully pursued by police.
Tupac was a shining example of everything that Diddy wanted to be. And he was that naturally. He was charismatic, he was sought after, desired, he was very well liked and a naturally likable person. He was charming, he actually had intrinsic talent, he was a star. He was what Diddy tried to force his way into becoming. Diddy, through force, through manipulation, through fear-mongering, tried to become loved and adored and liked, but all he could manage is like a twisted clone of that he was able to garner through fear. But back to my original point, he thought he triumphed over Tupac by when actually what he did was make Tupac immortal. And by Diddy continuing to live and earn more wealth and in his mind earn more adoration, he thought he triumphed. He thought he won.
After that failed attempt, Diddy still had to face questions publicly, including in interviews like the tense one on The Breakfast Club.
I believe so. I do believe so. I have proved things that I could say that will back up my claim, but this is not for the world to know about. You know what I mean? It's between me and him, and only he knows. So every time he say it didn't happen, or that's the only thing that makes this become an issue to everybody. I was acting. Who gets shot 5 times and acts? Oh, I didn't get 5 times in their business. I only got shot once because they found the book. The police found it, but now they the cops. Now they doing detective work.
Even during legal proceedings, Diddy was questioned again. Reports say his name appeared over 70 times in new filings, much of it coming from Keefe D, who claimed the hit was something Diddy wanted and that it happened easier than expected. With 3 major figures connected, investigators laid out the tots. Full timeline in the final section of the files. On September 7, 1996, Tupac was in Las Vegas with Suge Knight. The two attended a Mike Tyson fight at the MGM Grand. After the event, they encountered rivals in the hotel lobby while leaving.
Now, it was this documentary that claims, which we know wasn't true.
Yeah, check this out. We don't talk about things that are nonsense. We don't even entertain nonsense, my brother. So we're not even going to even go there, with all due respect, but I appreciate you as a journalist asking. Thank you.
Because listen, 7 years ago, I'd have been like, yo, did you hire somebody? But no, you do it like a journalist.
Yeah, no, I mean, we wouldn't even get into nonsense like that. You know what I'm saying? It's nonsense.
Which we never believed, by the way.
Yeah, thank
Security
you.
broke up the altercation, but it forced Tupac and Suge to return to their hotel to change, a moment investigators now see as critical. Later that night, around 11 p.m., they headed out again in Tupac's black BMW. Suge was driving Tupac in the passenger seat as they cruised down the Vegas Strip. Music blasting, windows down, Tupac even leaning out. They were drawing attention everywhere. Then, at a red light, everything changed.
Their entourage went to the Mike Tyson, the MGM Grand. Keefe D and his nephew, Orlando Lane Anderson, and two of their friends were also there. Keefe D told LAPD Detective Greg Kading more than a decade ago, in a proffer that couldn't be used against him, the thing was retaliation, after Tupac jumped Orlando and up at the casino. Surveillance cameras recorded the Tupac was angry that Lane had stolen his necklace years prior in Compton. Tupac, Suge Knight, and the entourage left the casino
Back
quickly.
then, there were no cameras capturing the moment, and somehow no witnesses could identify who carried it out. But police had suspicions based on who was in Vegas that night, leading them to bring in Keefe D for questioning, only to release him shortly after.
Knew about Tupac's concert at the Club 662. Members, including Orlando and Keefe D, jumped in their white Cadillac and started cruising the strip looking for the offender. Before long, they finally spotted Tupac's caravan. At the intersection of East Flamingo Boulevard and Koval Lane, the white Cadillac pulled alongside the black BMW with Suge on the driver and Tupac on the passenger seats. The back window of the Cadillac rolled twice in the chest, once in the arm, once in the thigh.
You say Suge looks over, he sees you? He looks right at you?
Yeah, he looks at me.
Okay. When he looks over at you, and then, Tupac's busy getting evidently, the story is Tupac's trying to either get out
in the back seat or something.
Yeah, what do you see happening inside their car?
I seen him going Suge again. I thought he was.
So Orlando across Dre?
He leaned over on the window.
And this is where the story flips. After nearly 30 years with no arrest, Keefe D started appearing in interviews, including on DJ Vlad's platform, describing how everything went down. He claimed the situation escalated quickly, even suggesting Tupac may have reached first waist.
As you're driving up towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat, and you said that Tupac pulled out
It looked like he was reaching, yeah. Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you actually?
Once he got the reaching, I got the ducking.
So someone from your car started at Tupac and Suge.
For over 2 decades, the case had gone cold. No evidence, no answers. Then suddenly Keefe D starts giving detailed accounts that even police didn't publicly know. That's when everything caught attention again. He was eventually arrested, but not before doing more interviews where he reacted to Tupac's passing, revealing his real emotion.
Yeah, I hate that happened, dog. I really do, man. It took a lot of people's lives, dude. Hate it happened. Probably God. I feel that was wrong, man. It was just purely wrong. You know what I'm saying? I wish it never happened. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion. It never happened, dude.